Welcome back, everyone. We have Calvin Ruda here with us from Wild West Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, and today we are meeting Fifi the fox. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank y'all for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. So tell us about Fifi and how she kind of got into y'all's care.
So Fifi here is actually a little bit of a special case. So she was came to us with a few dozen other kind of fox kits, and while we were kind of in that stage of getting ready to release them, right before they were set to be released, she managed to fracture one of her legs.
Oh, man.
She was having too much fun playing with her siblings and running around and managed to do something.
Yeah.
Well, that meant that she had to stay with us for another 6 to 8 weeks for
Okay.
that cast we put on and for that leg to heal, which, as you can now see, is all fully healed and proper again. But that meant that she was spent more time with people. She got much more accustomed to us.
Okay.
And there's also some issues with long-term issues once they have a broken leg with like arthritis and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's why she ended up staying with us after that, after she got recovered.
Okay, gotcha. And so is she going to eventually kind of become an animal ambassador?
That's actually kind of in the air right now. So
Okay.
it's really going to depend on how she does. Some of these critters, you know, we have them for a while. They do really well with people, and they hit adolescence, and that's kind of it. All of a sudden, they flip a switch, and they go back to being wild. And sometimes they like being held and pet and given free food, and they stick like that. So
Yeah.
we're hoping that she'll end up being able to be released, but we're fine if we get to keep her as an education animal because she is a sweetheart.
Gotcha.
Fifi, you may want to stay where you're at. I mean, you got it made right
I
now.
know, she's
Oh, yeah.
so sweet.
Now, we know foxes are generally pretty popular in the Panhandle, right?
Yeah, especially gray foxes. Now,
Okay.
we technically do have red foxes, but they're much rarer to see because they spend a lot more time in burrows.
Okay.
Gray foxes are the ones you're going to see, especially in the early morning, late at night, scurrying around the streets and the alleyways, stuff like that.
Yeah.
These guys are crepuscular animals, which means that they're most active during dawn and dusk hours. And one of the big things about gray foxes is that they are canines,
Yeah.
but they're the only canine species with retractable claws, like
Oh,
a cat
wow.
has.
Huh.
So what that means is that they're able to climb up fences, climb around buildings and stuff, and so they're very comfortable getting around human spaces. In fact, I spent a few years living in Dallas, and gray foxes live right in downtown Dallas, moving
Yeah.
around the
Wow.
traffic and the clubs. They
Yeah.
have no issue moving around there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And you were saying that Fifi is very fast.
Yes, foxes are incredibly fast.
Yes,
a big
they
part of that
are.
is because, I mean, just like a lot of animals that have that shared predator-prey mixture of traits, they have to be fast enough to catch their prey and fast enough to get away from anything trying to chase them down as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and because they're so lightweight, a lot of
Yes.
time like hawks, eagles, stuff like that, or try to prey.
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Those are the kind of things that target them. And they're usually quite small, generally speaking, which is actually something that I think a lot of people get mixed up, is that foxes actually are not animals that are go after your pets and things like that a lot of the times. That's usually be things a bit bigger than them.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, these guys are very fast when they want to be. She is able to absolutely sprint on walls, off of walls, especially
Wow.
when she gets a little hyper. She goes absolutely crazy.
That's cool.
She's kind of hugging you there for a little
She
bit.
Oh,
is.
she does. Yeah,
Oh.
she's a nervous little lady, but she's a sweetheart.
Now, what do foxes generally like to eat in the wild?
So in the wild, they're going to mostly go after like small game. So that's rabbits. We feed our foxes a lot of times whole quail. So
Okay.
that's another
Okay.
big thing they're going to go after is like ground fowl like that. Really anything kind of small enough they can go after. So like prairie dogs, rabbits, anything like that is something that a fox is going to absolutely love. But
Yeah.
they're not going to turn down fruits or anything that they can get a hold of that's still going to have those nutrients that they need.
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes with some foxes, like Lincoln, one of our educational ambassadors, his favorite snack is red licorice, right? Which is not exactly a wild fox snack, but that is something that they do
I
enjoy.
kind of feel him on that. Red liquor is pretty
I
good.
love that.
Red
That is so
Twizzlers.
fun.
That's a special
Yeah.
little treat that he gets.
That's
Oh,
cool.
sweet.
Man, Lincoln. All right, Landry, thanks so much. Welcome back, everybody. We're still here with Calvin from Wild West Wildlife Rehabilitation. I got to say, Fifi reminds me a lot of a person because she is like
know.
fascinated with the TV right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
That's what's so funny, especially when they're younger like this, is how
Yeah.
curious they are. They're so inquisitive.
Yeah.
It's very funny because Lincoln, of course, one of our education foxes who's a little older, he would not be interested. He'd be completely checked out and ready to get back to go back to
Man,
sleep.
I just want to go back to sleep.
Yeah,
man.
he's become very grouchy, whereas Miss Fifi here is still just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed every morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can tell she's still just a little baby with the way she
Yes.
acts.
Yeah, and you know, I actually just want to say because she was just a little baby, and that where she had that leg break, she had to get a cast. which of course is tough on the animal, but requires a lot of care to monitor and everything else. And we just recently finished up with Panhandle Gives, the campaign that was for the center.
Absolutely.
And thanks to the community support and everyone, we actually raised over our goal of $50,000.
Nice.
Wow.
And so we just wanted to say a humongous thank you to everyone in the community who helps support us, both with Panhandle Gives and with everything else. That support is exactly what helps us take care of critters like Fifi here, and helps afford for like that health care that she needs and the amount of constant chicken and birds and everything that she eats. And so it's a humongous deal, and we just wanted to say a humongous thank you to the Panhandle region and everyone around who provided and was so kindly gifted that money over to us and to the rest of the organizations and Panhandle Gives this year.
Absolutely. And now that campaign is over, how can people still help y'all, whether it's donations, supplies, volunteering, all that good stuff?
They can definitely go and visit our site at wildwestwildlife.com. They will also have a Facebook page, and they can give us a call. We take donations of food, towels, blankets, stuffed animals that they love to play with. People are always welcome to volunteer their time with us. Anything like that. And of course, we do also have tours. Generally speaking, on Friday at 3 p.m., that may change a little bit over the holidays. I know we'll have some special tours coming up in the coming weeks to kind of make sure that folks have family in town. There's a couple more opportunities to do that. So if you'd ever like to come in and meet some of our ambassadors, we'd always love having people. And any of the money that comes from both the gift shop we have there and any of the money from tours goes straight back into the animal care and everything for them.
Absolutely, because I see a lot of those comments on y'all's Facebook posts, and people are like, "Man, I wish I was closer so I could go out and see."
Yes, it's really cool just how many people from all over the world do support the center and have seen it. But especially if you've got family or something coming to the town, we'd really love to have y'all.
Absolutely, really cool.
Absolutely. And well, Calvin, Fifi, thank you for being here.
Yes,
this
thank you
morning.
for
This is
having
cool,
us.
man. Like,
I've
never seen a fox up close. I've seen them, but like when I seen them, they like darting the other way.
Yeah, they are so skittish, and it's not like a skunk or something where you have to be nervous about being up next close to one.
You don't want to get too close to a skunk. He's like, they look good from afar.
From a distance,
Yeah, they look good from afar.